Bryce, thanks for joining us on the Double Triple Tech Sales podcast on sharing your journey. It's been a delightful experience to be working with you. Really excited to sort of break it all down today in sort of your journey. But if you don't mind, just doing a quick intro of yourself, where you're based, and what your current role is that you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. My name is Bryce. I'm based in Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, and my current role that I've just taken on is a business development representative at HubSpot. So very keen to get started on that.
Very cool. And I think when we started working together, Bryce, it was like there was a bit of an army in Brizzy starting to formulate of the folks looking to get into tech sales. And I think the
Yes,
other army that was formulating, it was a bit of a joke that we're going to take over the physiotherapy world, basically. But
literally,
tell us
yes.
about tell us about like your past experience and like I guess like what did you do out of high school and what sort of the past couple of years look like before obviously making the next move.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the few years out of high school was definitely dedicated to study. So physio is a 4-year degree. So obviously in uni throughout that time, and then sort of graduated in 2024, and then I've been working for the last 2 years as a physio. I guess in between then, like while I was studying, doing odd jobs like um, disability support work. I even picked sweet potatoes at one point, just doing sort of anything to get a bit of
Nice.
money throughout COVID, especially. Um, and then, yeah, obviously after graduating physio, just working in physiotherapy for 2 years, which was a good career. But I just sort of felt like I was at that, um, just getting capped out at sort of my earning potential, and just wanted to sort of try and maximize that. That's when I came across sort of tech and tech sales. So yeah, that's how we got here.
Yeah. Super cool. It's very fascinating picking sweet potatoes. Where I know during
Oh,
that COVID year I was like laying turf like for
yeah,
we all have that
yeah.
random job that we
I
were
think
sort of
everyone,
doing.
yeah, had like a weird job. Yeah, yeah, definitely. My uncle worked at like one of the like he was like a manager for one of the farms, so he just got me the job.
Yeah.
I was like, I need something, and yeah, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
we can pick sweet potatoes, and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. But I think it
No,
definitely
that's
gave me an
awesome.
appreciation for, a nice cushy aircon job. So yeah,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. When Bryce, I remember like very clearly, like it was yesterday when we first had our call together when you were exploring getting into tech
mm,
sales, like before
yeah.
you sort of joined Double Triple.
Mhm.
But take us back to before we sort of jump into that, because I want to break down sort of what we even discussed of the transferable skills from physio even into tech sales. I remember
Yeah.
having that conversation with you on our first call. But
Mm.
what sparked your interest? Like, where did tech sales originally formulate for you in your world? How long had you been thinking about it? And how did you like even come across, I guess, myself and double triple at the time?
Yeah. Gosh, it would take you back like yeah, probably like end of last year, like November, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of my friends like brothers was like in sales, like um and he was like obviously doing really well, like killing it, and could work remotely, and just seemed like he was living like so good. And just seemed like such a good skill to have, because he was like sort of feeling offers from all these other places that wanted him because he was good at what he did, and it seemed like he really had his pick of the mill. And I was like, oh, that would be like really good to have that. Like it's obviously quite an in-demand skill, because I really didn't think too much about sales, but I was like, oh wow, there really is like a demand for this stuff. So I think that was sort of the proof of that. Like people are wanting to hire salespeople, and then I sort of just went down the rabbit hole of like what kind of sales, because I think he was selling like it was selling like a sales course, like it was actually for salespeople.
Right.
um, and yeah, he worked in that. And then I was like, okay, like could do that. And then I was thinking, well, tech is something I use every day, and software is something I use every day. So I sort of stumbled into the software sales part of things, and especially then when we brought on AI note taking in our clinic, I definitely saw the opportunity there, that they were sort of recruiting some tech salespeople, and I was like, oh, okay, like that's pretty transferable. Like they were saying that they preferred to have like clinicians because you're good at talking to people, good at having conversations, which is essentially a lot of what the job is. So yeah, I was just sort of like pretty much directing down that pathway, and then I
Hmm.
stumbled upon Double Triple when you guys sort of outlaid the path pretty clearly on how you can make that transition. That's not a super big, I guess, cavern to jump over, that it's actually like a really, really easy pivot to make as long as you sort of are intentional with it and have those transferable skills.
Oh, it's super cool. And it's quite ironic now. The company that you're going to work for is almost like probably one of those tools that I think you would have used, like not maybe that exact vendor, but in terms of like what you have to do in your job, it's an important piece to sort of the backbone of any business.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was cool. Yeah, it's really cool though that your mate was in sales, but then you sort of rabbit holed your own journey through tech sales. I think very similar with like Cam Truebridge, like just started to play with tech and then realized, well, I'm interested sort of in tech, so made the link there. But I remember like on our first call, like even talking to, because just prior to you joining, we had like Charlie Malloy, Sarah, Hassan, like a whole bunch of physios join. And that whole translatable skill set of just like even you guys totally used to working like on the floor all the time. You're good with people relationships and like you almost have to like upsell or like book in packs for other clients as well. So though it's not like sales in general, I think you sort of have to do all those skills naturally
definitely
over the years.
Especially if you want to keep like a busy book and keep people coming back through the door. Like you really need to be quite personable because at the end of the day, customer service is what's going to get people to come back, and I think that translates to sales and like relationships with people is what's going to get people to buy and stick around for the long run.
Super cool. What obviously I have to ask, I don't know if I've asked anyone probably so direct before, because I'm keen to understand this more and more myself now as we bring more and more clients on, but it's like, why did you originally even go with double triple when like to actually break into tech sales? Like sort of you've gone through the journey a little bit now, so what was like the catalyst for you at the time?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I came across your sort of Instagram first of all, and sort of was just seeing like the stuff you're posting about, and honestly, like the combination of like triathlon stuff as well, I was resonating with that. So I was like, oh, like wow, it's cool. To see that you guys are sort of some Australia, so like local, like living examples of like this career path. So I guess just building that trust on that end, like it wasn't just someone in America saying like, you could get rich doing this or something like that. It was sort of like, this is my path that I took. Let me explain sort of how I can help you sort of create a similar trajectory for yourself, and like it works for everyone at whatever stage. So I guess it was just that trust that was built. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Cool to hear. I think and for the sort of folks listening too, right? It's like you joined, I think like mid-March or something around that period, but you had a few interviews and then really like for yourself, you were okay going into Brisbane, right? Like you were happy with sort of hybrid work. You didn't mind too much.
I wouldn't mind hybrid at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've ended up with like 100% remote role.
Yeah, which is actually so good.
Yeah. Which is like, I remember one of Sarah who from physio, like she went, from physio to then working remote, and then she's like, I just like it completely changed my life. She was running a physiotherapy practice as well. It completely changed my life in terms of working remote. I think the cool thing is too, like you'll be able to fly to Sydney to meet the team, but I think as you progress at HubSpot as well, like they'll have sort of like the office there that you could be going on site with clients as well. So, all that opportunities will be there as well. So that is very exciting. Tell us about, I guess, like, to my point there as well, like you joined around mid-March. I think though, once you would have experienced it, right? Like tell us through your experience going through the interview process. It's like once it sort of happens and you can feel the right opportunity happens, it just happens really quickly after that. And I think a lot of people might like go, it's not working for me. But then it's like, once you get that one it's working, like I think almost like I felt like after the second interview, you were like, I think I've got it. I think I've got it. It's just like you're sort of like literally going through the motions.
Yes. Yeah. It was, I guess it's just like, it feels like you're sort of treading water for a bit. I guess like you're doing a lot of outreach, like you're trying to connect with the right people, and you're getting some connections, and some people are directing you to the right person, and they might not reply. So it's easy to get disheartened, but I think like, essentially that is what sales is going to be. So it's sort of like good practice, right? So like, it's just like 100%. Perseverance and keep going. And then you get that one who's like, yeah, like let's jump on a call, and you're like, oh, okay. I feel like once you get in front of someone, it's a lot easier to sort of, present yourself and then, one-on-one with a person, like those transferable skills come out, and you can just have a good conversation with someone and be quite likable and approachable, and go from there. At least that's my experience with it.
Yeah, totally. No, I totally agree. And it's like those, and to your point, like just really doubling down on that, it's like literally what you're going to have to do in the role. So it's just like, it's a great practice to go through those early stage interviews, even if you don't end up getting it. But I have seen everyone in the program, like, there's probably only been a few that had like literally just had like one interview and sort of got it. But each interview has made them better for like their job that they end up landing, right? They just take so much away from that going into it. But tell us, Bryce, like exactly like in double triple, obviously going through, I would say to people, like, especially in your case, it's like you've just started the journey now, because now it's like now learning the role. But in terms of, I guess, like the support in double triple with Gabe and whatnot, are you able to share a little bit around like some of the highlights for you during the program?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's been like, you guys have been fantastic. Like the whole way through, like I've never not felt supported. Like it's been like really good to just have that like person in your corner for like every step of the way. So that's been really helpful. I think like the highlight would be like that first interview prep where like, the first cold call. I've never really done a cold call. All my calls from work have just been like following up with patients and stuff. So it's quite warm. They know who I am. And I guess it's quite intimidating, like thinking about like how to run through it. But, you guys explained it so well and made it so easy. And then we had that practice session and just ran through it a bunch of times until we felt confident. And then that just set me up for success for the actual thing. So like that'll probably be the highlight for me throughout like the interview process.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you and Gabe, and you building out it all on Claude as well, and having that session around just really preparing that deck and everything to go into it as well.
Yeah.
I guess like two more questions for you, Bryce, in terms of like you've literally like, how do you feel? I know you're processing everything because we called you the other night too, and it always feels a bit like surreal in terms of it all happening. But you've literally now gone from like having to go into work every day to 100% remote.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
where do you feel like how do you feel like that's going to change your lifestyle? Like, what are you most looking forward to sort of 6 months from now?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a good balanced lifestyle. So, definitely being able to go to gym before work is going to be so good. Because my gym's super close to home, so I can just duck in, duck back. In work's at home now, so it's like I don't need to commute. I think it's going to be a game changer. I can just have more time before and after work to like do things that I want to do. So like go for a walk, go to the gym. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I think like that'll be the main change. I think definitely it'll be an adjustment, like not going into like an office or anything, but there's heaps of meetings throughout the day, so you'll be talking to people. So that's like the main takeaway for me that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, it'll be an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, super exciting. It's definitely new ways of learning how to work. I know when I went 100% remote for the first time, it's always like a bit odd, and like when you actually do have maybe 2 to 3 hours actually that you get back in your time, because like regardless of like getting fully like ready, commute back and forth, or just like wasting time before whatnot, you do like just like the walks, or I know you're doing marathon training, like it's just like those little things really help go a long way as well. Especially
definitely.
like recovery, just like little mental loads go so far.
Yeah, exactly. So it all adds up. And I think like even little things like being able to get washing like done like super easy, I think is going to be really nice, because I know that's been a struggle.
No, I know. It's just like all the little 1%ers that make the quality of life go a long way. Bryce, I guess rounding out the conversation, if you were talking to exactly who, like someone, maybe in your spot 6 months ago, what would you tell them around potentially looking at double, triple, or even tech sales, or just like even the interview process? Is there anything like you would even tell Bryce 6 months ago?
Yeah, I think apart from like take action sooner, not really. Like, yeah, that's probably the main thing is like, if you're thinking about it for a long time, obviously it's something worth looking into. So I'd say at least like jump on a call and just discover like what's possible. For you, doesn't hurt, doesn't, cost anything to sort of find out what you can sort of have, especially if you're like looking for something a little bit more, and you are driven and ambitious, and you want a little bit more out of everything. So I would just say, yeah, absolutely go for it. Like, I guess the catalyst for me was sort of my birthday was coming up, and I was like, I'm not getting any younger. So, got to try something. And yeah, it's been fantastic so far. So yeah, really keen to get into the role.
Was that exactly the catalyst for you? Just like that life pivot time of whatever age you're turning and just like, I want more, or like, was that the main driver?
Well, it was sort of like, I've been not like super content with physio for a while. And then my birthday came up and I was like, oh, this one, I guess 24. It's like, that seems a little up there. Like, I know when you're young, it's like anything after 23 feels like old. So I was just like, oh, like, worth looking into this thing that I've been thinking about for so long. So I guess that was, definitely a catalyst as well. To take some action.
Yeah, I think the thing that folks forget, like you literally did what, uni for 4 years, and then like you practiced for like 4 years or a couple years there. It's like, I always think about like every time I've had like a big life change, it's always been like a 7-year block for me. And it's like, I feel like you're just ready for that next thing, whatever it is. And it almost feels 100%. Like at that 24. And then I felt like I had an exact same year, Bryce, last year, where I'm in July, I'm about to turn 29, and I'm like, pressure's on, I'm turning big 30. Like it's just like last year I just went, I full sent it. Like I felt like I had to do like a year of just like leveling up again. And it's just like something around that age thing to get you to that next level. So it's cool that you
definitely
had that
like a driver.
Well.
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
What was I gonna say? But I could definitely feel like, when you just feel like you're ready for a change, and it feels like, that might be, you're not ready for it. I think that's like a really good indicator that it is time to change. Because I know I've had like that in the past where I'm like, oh, it feels like such a big leap. Like it doesn't feel like, I can do it. And then I think every time, you can do it. So I think just like reminding yourself of that is important.
100%, Bryce. And like every time you just chip away at those little things, it's just like, that is literally what builds confidence and belief in yourself to like continuously figuring it out. Like if you figured it out once, like you can figure it out again. And I think like, not that I compare physiotherapy to personal training at all, because of like the qualification is just completely different. But I think it's like, I always knew like I could just fall back on personal training, and very similar to you, right? It's like, it's always that next decision to make. It's like, you could always go back to physiotherapy because you got that qualification now. Like you practiced for multiple years, and so there's no risk there in making the next step. But that you'll be going back, because it's going to be a great career ahead. But
exactly.
Really exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm very keen to get started. So yeah.
It is. Now the wait. Now, hopefully you do get that week off before. But I know you're going to be starting in less than a sort of a month's period time, and wishing you all the best. And as we always say, this is just the next sort of chapter of sort of double triple, and helping you out now to be like the top performing rep there. But I think you're going to crush it, and you've shown. I think for anyone like exploring and sort of, I think the number one question we get is like, what do the best people do in the program? I think is the main thing. It's just like, you took action, you prepared heaps for the presentations and things that you had to do, and did the follow-ups always on time. And those little 1%ers go a long way through the process.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm super keen. It's exciting, a little nerve-wracking, but I'm excited to just like really hone in on this new skill and just learn again. So it's sort of really exciting time. But yeah, I'm very keen.
For sure. Well, thanks heaps, Bryce, for the time today. And we'll see you inside double triple, and enjoy the next sort of 4 weeks of just your whole life about to change. But it's really exciting for the next chapter.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
I actually handed in my resignation yesterday. So that was an exciting thing. Exciting and a bittersweet thing as well. Like it wasn't a bad workplace, but it was nice to say goodbye. So that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, all the best, Bryce.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.